I thought I would go ahead and do another little video and show you a few things here, a few more plants. Here are some just wild violets. I'll get a little bit closer. Okay, let's find a good one to show you. Alright, so the wild violets here, let me see if I can focus. Okay, so the wild violets here, they just have these little curled, like heart-shaped leaves. Dark green leaves, and this is what the violet flowers look like. You see that? They're just a really dark, pretty purple with some darker veining through it and like a yellow center. You can do your own research, of course, but and I'm not going to go into any health benefits of anything, but the flowers and the leaves are edible. I'm actually going to be this patch, this is a pretty good sized patch of wild violets, and then we've got a couple other patches. Now is actually the best time to be collecting them. This is the end of April right now. But I'm actually going to be taking quite a few, not all of course, and I'm going to be taking the flowers and the leaves. I'm going to be drying them and putting them back to make tea out of when needed. Okay, so these are just the wild purple violets. They're really low and they're just pretty. Alright, over here, if you see all these dotted yellow flowers over there, and they're actually kind of close to the violets, and there's a whole lot more close to me that I'm not going to show you over there because we've got old fence post and fencing and it just looks bad. Okay, but all of these are all the Buttercup family. I live here in Missouri, and in Missouri we have about 20 different species of buttercups. So all throughout all of this area that I have, we actually have kind of a mixture. We have prairie buttercups and hispid buttercups, but there's some slight differences among them. But basically what they look like, if I can find a pretty one, let's see if I can focus in on this one some. But the flowers are bright yellow, and they kind of look like they have wax on them. If the sun hits it just right, it's like it reflects light. Can you see that? But anyway, these are all just like in the, they're all a species of buttercup. Okay, over here, also close to the violets and the buttercups, we have some violet wood sorrel. See if I can focus in on this as well. Okay, these are just pretty little 5-petaled, like a light violet colored flower, and their leaves, if you can see these right here, they're folded up, they're closed up along the stem. But their leaves, the tops, are a dark green, and the underside, if I can open it up one-handed, and the underside are just tinged in purple. See that? Ah! Dimitri. Sorry about that. My dog, the puppy, just jumped up on me. And the other one is too. Hey! Stop it! Hey! Look. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, go on. Go. All right. Sorry. Okay, where are we at? Okay, so these are the violet wood sorrels. There's also a yellow variety as well. Like I said in the beginning, you can do your own research if you're interested in using these, to eat or whatever. But you can eat the leaves. They have a bit of a little sour twang to them. However, if you do eat them, don't eat an enormous amount or even a huge amount. Okay? But because they have, I forget what it's called, it's like oxysomething acid in them. But anyway, you just don't want to eat a lot of them. Okay, what else do we have? Let's see. Oh, wow. Look, we have cactuses. Or is it cacti? I guess it's cacti for plural. Is that right? Hey, I did not know that. Oh, my daughter will love this. Look at that. Got that one. That thing. Oh, ow. That one. Oh, wow. She will love this. There's some more over there. And over there. Oh my goodness, how cool. All right. In one of my videos where I done some plant ID, I talked about cleavers. Here are some cleavers. This might be a little bit better one. It has the stem has 4 sides. It feels sticky, but it's hairs underneath the leaves and alongside the stem. The hairs are like little hooks that are curled downward, so it just grabs to everything. So you can see it's just kind of feels just kind of sticking to my finger, grabbing. But they'll have little white flowers on them when they're flowered. But that's a cleaver, and you know, they are medicinal. Here's some more little cleavers. Here's some more little cleavers. And I am just, where I'm at right now, I am at the edge of the yard. This is kind of like leading into the woods. So just to kind of give you an idea as to where this stuff might be found at your place. Okay, also in my last video, I also showed you chickweed. And here I found a bigger patch of it. It's growing under the shade of the lean-to, so I just thought I would show it to you again. And I noticed on that video there's one thing I forgot to mention. There is a look-alike of chickweed that is poisonous, so you want to be sure that what you have is chickweed. Okay, but some identifying features of chickweed, once you know what it is, you won't mistake it, as long as you look it over, of course. I don't know if I'll be able to show you or not. Well, that one's probably not any good to show you. Let me see. Let me find one. Okay, I don't know if you can see those hairs or not, and I know I mentioned this, but okay, you see that on the top of the stem, that little white fuzz there as I'm slowly turning it? On chickweed, only one side of the stem, see there towards the bottom under those leaves down here? On chickweed, only one side of the stem will have a line of hair, and it'll go in a straight line, but with each section of leaves, it changes direction. So like from the bottom of this particular chickweed that I have up to these leaves, it goes in this one top direction, and then as the leaves change directions, the hair goes to the other, it runs on the other side, I mean. Okay? Okay, another thing that is kind of neat about this, I'll have to put you down for a minute so I can break this apart. Okay, so this is the other interesting thing. In the middle of the chickweed stem, there's like this string. You see the center part here? It's tough. See, I'm pulling on it. It's tough, and it just runs through the length of the chickweed stem. Just a second, I'll pull it apart. Okay, so I pulled it apart. There's the top half, and you can see it's right here, and it's also here out the bottom. But that string is just, it really makes it tough. Okay? All right, also something I guess I could go ahead and mention is these little flower buds here on the chickweed, right there. They also have the single line of the little hairs. Well, sorry, not the single line. They're also covered with the little hairs as well. There's a pretty little flower. Okay. So So my daughter, she likes taking the chickweed and putting it in with her salads. We all actually like it made into a pesto as well, chickweed pesto. You just take the chickweed, chop it up small, put it in some kind of blender, food processor if you want. Add a little bit of olive oil. I can't remember if we add salt or pepper or not. I think it just kind of a preference. And then some Parmesan cheese. And there you go. Just some pesto. Okay, and surely all of you know what this is. Clover, obviously, right? Okay, and so I'm not going to spend hardly any time talking about clover, but red clover is medicinal, so you can just look that up if you want. Of course, I don't have any that's blooming yet. It's not quite time yet. Plantain was the first weed that I learned to identify. It's called broadleaf. This species is, though, because it has the broad leaves, and this is a smaller one. Those broad leaves, they can actually get pretty big. Anyway, on the back side, you will see 5 vertical, big, thick veins, one in the center, and then 2 on each side. So the plantain, it grows from trying to get some of this grass out of the way. It grows in like a basal rosette. It has not sent up the flower stalk yet. Now, the flower stalk, whenever the seeds on the flower stalk are ready, those are psyllium seeds. And some of you may be thinking, psyllium seeds? Oh my goodness, I know what those are. You can go to a health food store and you can actually buy psyllium seeds or psyllium seed husks, and to take as a supplement or to put into your cereal or whatever for fiber. They're high in fiber. Some people eat the leaves in a salad. We have not done that yet. The way that we use the plantain medicinally, now plantain has a ton of medicinal uses. It really does. But we have only needed to use it for like a wasp sting or a bee sting. You just take the leaf, wipe it down, make sure there's no bugs or eggs on it, or, dust and stuff. Just take the plantain leaf, put it in your mouth, chew it up just until it's crushed and, your saliva is all infused with it. And then you take that nasty gunk, that poultice, and put it onto the wasp sting or the bee sting, even a mosquito bite. And also a scratch or a cut. It helps to the compounds in the plantain. It helps to, disinfect that cut. It helps it heal faster. And it takes the sting and the pain and the itch away. We've been using this for those type of problems for a long time now. Okay, if I come across any more bigger plantain in the yard, I'll show it to you. Okay. While I'm sitting here, I also see some more clover, but if you look closely, this clover has the little white on it, whereas the clover I showed you earlier did not. It was just round and green. I have not looked into clover enough to know if the one that has the white produces the red, or if the one that has the white here on the leaves produces the white clover. I don't know, but it's clover. So now I'm just going to take you for a just walk down here towards the end of the yard. Okay, this is what I was looking for right here. Let me get a little closer. Okay. And yes, one reason why I am taking you on this walk is because we have got to mow the grass. But our transmission in our mower went out, so my husband bought a new one. And but he's physically not able at the moment to put it in. So today, my oldest and myself took out the old transmission from the mower, and we're working on putting the new one in. But he's telling us how to do it. But anyways, he's just on light physical duty. But we've got to mow the yard, so me and my daughter are changing the transmission. And then so plants right here, these are also in the violet family. but you can tell that their leaves and stems are very, very different. But their petals here are still similar. They have the 5 petals. This particular one, it's more purplish blue, lavender on the outside, and more white in the middle. It still has that same dark purple veining throughout with the yellow center. But the name of these little guys, at least here in Missouri, the common name anyway, these are called Johnny Jumpups. They're called that because they are one of the first ones to arrive during spring. You know, so they jump up out of the ground like, spring is here, spring is here. So these are called Johnny Jumpups. Okay, this one here that I want to show you, look at this. This is a yarrow plant. It has not bloomed yet. Okay, let me get this. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way here. Okay. But the yarrow, it's a fairly, good sized flower. It has a white mass of flowers, of teeny tiny little white flowers in like a, can't think of the word right now, but in a circle on top of the stalk. But these leaves, you cannot mistake these leaves for anything else. Just a second, let me see if I can focus better. Okay, these leaves are beautiful. If you look really, really close at them, they're really complex. They are so soft. It's like you're feeling a feather. It's so delicate feeling, and it's so flexible. I'm sure you heard that truck go by. But anyway, this stem here, at least on this young one, it's pretty covered here with this fuzz, but the flower will come out the top. But yarrow is medicinal. Okay, so with that being said, a lot of people, you hear that yarrow and Queen Anne's lace and poison hemlock are easily confused. That's what they say. In my opinion, once you recognize yarrow, in my opinion, you cannot mistake it for anything else. But I guess if you've never seen all 3, then I guess you could. So, I guess be careful, of course, and make sure no matter what you have, you always need to be sure of what you have 100%. Okay? But the purpose of this video is just to kind of show you what the plants look like the best I can without going into too much detail. And just to, say the words edible or medicinal, and then if you're interested, you can, find out more. Okay, but this is the yarrow plant, and it is medicinal. Okay. And you can see back here, as I showed you in the other video, this is henbit. And here as well, mixed in with the Johnny Jumpups over here, and all those. Okay, further on down the slope into the yard, closer to the woods, here also is some dock because of how, the leaves are curly. That's really how it gets its name. But for dock, the root is medicinal. I have never used it, but it has a lot of medicinal properties. I know that. It is in my book, and I have researched it and thought about using it, but the plant gets to be really a good size, and to me it's just not worth digging it up. I do not like the looks of a curly dock plant. They get big and they're ugly, and when the season's over, it's just like this big, dead, brownish red looking thing. But when it flowers and when it has seeds, it's really interesting. If you can ever, maybe look up a picture, it's unlike anything, most anything that you've seen before. Okay, let's see. Here's kind of like the start of the woods on down the slope and all that. And you can see we have, there's just some eastern redbud trees here. Well, I guess I can probably show you closer one of these. If I slip and scream, it's okay. Our yard is a very, very big steep slope. That's actually how the transmission went out of the mower. It's a hydrostat. So anyway, sorry, rambling. Okay, so this is an eastern redbud tree. It is native to North America. Okay, let's see. What do I want to say about this? Okay. I hate telling you if things are edible if there's like a limit to it, you know. I'll just tell you what I've researched, okay? I have researched that these flower buds are edible, and we have eaten them. They don't have a strong taste of anything, but they're pretty good. Okay, so these redbud flowers, they are edible. Some people put them in muffins when they make muffins. They'll put them in salads. They'll put them in like some kind of, burrito or breakfast burrito, or I don't know, like an egg roll thing. Okay, so, some people also, they pickle the redbud flowers as well. We have only just picked them off the tree and have eaten them. However, they say don't eat don't eat a lot of them, because some kind of toxin in them, that if you eat too much, it's not a good thing. Now, I also read that the Native Americans, they would use the inner bark of the eastern redbud as well as the root and make some kind of tea out of it for things like a fever and colds and coughs, things like that. I haven't had to do that. Okay, but I just wanted to point out the eastern redbud here. I can see our steep slope here, which I'm trying not to show you up any higher because then you'll see our stuff and I don't want you knowing. Alright, but you can see more. This is a different side of the yard that I showed you earlier, but you can see more of those yellow buttercups. There's some Johnny Jumpups mixed in. There's just a variety of, I don't know, there's a bunch of other little flowers. Let's see. Okay, so earlier I showed you broadleaf plantain. This is English plantain. It's the same, the same properties and all of that. The identification is almost the same. They as well have those deep, long, veins running through. However, these are more long and pointy. They're not as much broad like the broadleaf are, and the broadleaves are like a dark green, kind of a little waxy looking, but the English plantain has hairs. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see those little hairs on them, but they're covered with little bitty hairs on both sides of it. Okay? But they as well grow in a basal rosette and are medicinal as well. Here you can see some more dead nettle. This is also on a different side of the yard. Okay? So just like in that other video, which I'll put a link in the description box, and also I'll try to put a card up here, I think. No, here. Chloe, go on. Go on. Go. Anyway, so that's dead nettle, and you can see in our experience, it always seems to grow next to henbit as well. Okay, we have never used this for anything. Sorry, she's a puppy. We have never used this for anything, but people, they say that you can take the leaves of the henbit and also the dead nettle and put it in a salad. But once again, anytime you are new at anything, always, be responsible and check things out for yourself. Okay, and now I wonder if I need to give these guys a name and an introduction for you. I'm joking, of course you guys know what they are. These are dandelions. I will put a link up here, whichever one of these things. I done like a photo slideshow thing where I showed you how to fry these, how to fry the flowers. Some people also like my practical herbalism book, which I'll go ahead and put a link in that in the description box below for that as well. But they'll take the blossoms and they'll make dandelion wine. We don't drink at all, so I haven't done that. But anyway, the dandelions are edible, and medicinal. They are highly, highly medicinal. They're good for cleansing and detoxing your liver. And okay, but the dandelions, they do have a couple lookalikes. Here in Missouri, there's something that they call the false dandelion. However, once you see it, you cannot mistake it for a dandelion. It just, to me, it looks so different. But here is one dandelion that it was yellow, it's done. It was the Puffball, which I guess I should have showed you one of those a while ago. Here's the Puffball that's, well, not much of a puffball anymore. But, okay. So back to the dandelion here. Okay, so some of the ways to know if it is a dandelion is it has these deeply serrated, these deeply toothed leaves, which is where it gets the lion part of the name. And the leaves, they actually point back to the center of the plant, and it grows in a basal rosette along the ground. A basal rosette, the basal part just means it's close to the ground. The rosette part means it just, okay, Dimitri, go. And the rosette part means it just kind of, goes in a circle here. But all the leaves and the dandelions, they all come from a center point in the plant. One stalk will produce one flower, so it won't be branching. Whenever you break it, there will be, which I'm sure you guys know, a milky substance here. See that white? See that white stuff there? It's like a milky latex substance, and whenever you take that and you put it on your skin when it dries, it kind of feels like you've got, I don't know, I guess latex on, or something like maybe a little bit of dried glue or something. You can actually feel it on you. Okay, but the roots are medicinal. The leaves, the flowers, you can put in a salad, eat, you can fry, you can, cook really however you want to. It's all medicinal and edible. Here, as if you didn't know, is the dandelion puffball. Whenever the yellow is done and it goes to seed, the wind, or the children, go and they take it and they blow on it, and the seeds just carry in the wind and land wherever. That is all for right now. I need to get back to the mower and put that new transmission in. Anyhow, when people have beautiful, thick, luscious green grass in their yard, it is beautiful. I will not deny that. However, we do not, we have never spread any kind of weed killer, even though at times early on my husband wanted to, but I would not let him. But anyhow, we don't do that. I mean, when someone looks at our yard, they may look at it and think, oh my goodness, you've got weeds. Well, I look at it and I think, oh my goodness, we have food, we have medicine. It is so amazing. It's mind-blowing at times. The more you know, the more plants you know, and you're able to identify and to know whether they're edible or medicinal, or hopefully both, you can just sit in almost any given spot, and within just a little bit of land, just a little area, you can just start pointing out the plants you could use for whatever kind of health problems you had, or food if you were starving, or, just out foraging and on a hike or something and you got hungry. And, I mean, what does luscious green yard? To me, it can't compete with that. And, anyway, but no, we do keep our yard mowed low and everything. We don't let weeds grow up. It did get tall this time. Actually, this area of the yard, it's mainly just the dandelions. That's actually kind of tall, but anyhow, so I hope this video was helpful. I know someone had said that they would like to see more of this, so I hope that this was helpful. And I really, really enjoy pointing out plants to people, using them. It's just something I really have a love for. Um, so, maybe with the next season in summer or even later spring, there'll be more plants in bloom that I can show you. And so hopefully I can, do this every so often. But I just wanted to go ahead and get this video done before we got the mower fixed and we went ahead and mowed it all down, because as we've been walking around the yard, I've been pointing so many things out. I'm like, I really want to get this down on video before we mow it all down. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it, and see where your curiosity takes you and learn something new. Have a good day. Bye.